Hello, and welcome to Cox Local Edition on CNN Headline News. My name's Jessica Carver with Cox Communications, and today we have two very special guests from Fairfax Court-Appointed Special Advocates, Lisa Banks and Jose Garcia. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Wonderful. So first of all, Lisa, tell me a little bit about the mission of Fairfax CASA and what your volunteers do for the organization.
Sure. For the past 21 years, Fairfax CASA has been working at the request of the juvenile court to provide volunteer advocates for abused and neglected children who are under the court's protection. And a CASA volunteer's job is to gather information for the judge so that the judge can make informed decisions about the children's futures. And as you can imagine, those are very life-altering decisions, so the judge needs to be really well informed. And Fairfax CASA recruits and trains citizens just like you and me to be advocates and advocate for the best interest of these children. And they do it by getting to know the children really well and seeing them twice a month. They also gather information from all sources, whether it be doctors, teachers, foster parents, biological parents, and they write a written report to the judge which informs the judge of everything that's going on in the child's life. And the ultimate goal is to assist the judge so that the judge can find permanent safe homes for abused children.
And you are facing a pretty big challenge right now with your volunteers. Tell us a little bit about that.
We are having a hard time recruiting enough volunteers who speak English and Spanish fluently. Right now we have 145 wonderful volunteers active on cases serving children in the court system. Astoundingly, only 6 of those are Spanish speakers. And that means that the Hispanic Latino families and children who are under court protection are not getting the same services. And these kids are really getting shortchanged by not having the benefit of a CASA volunteer. So we are really hoping to find enough Spanish speakers to serve all the children so we don't have to turn those cases back to court because we cannot find a volunteer to serve them.
Sure. And Jose, you are one of those bilingual volunteers.
Yeah.
So tell us, how did you decide to first become involved with CASA, and how does that knowledge of the Spanish language and culture help you?
Well, as a paralegal, I was interested in volunteering in something that would make use of my professional skills. A friend of mine, who's also a CASA, actually told me about the program, and I immediately became interested. I also grew up in the area, so I wanted to give back to the community, especially the Hispanic community. English is a second language for my parents, so they got by with what they know. As I grew up, they relied on me more and more, not because they didn't always understand, but because they wanted to make sure what they heard or what was said was actually what was meant. So by being a CASA, I can fill that role for similar families. I believe it adds tremendous value. For example, right now I'm working on a case with a mother and 2 children. The mother speaks some English, but she's obviously more comfortable speaking in Spanish. So she starts off by telling me things in English, but if she can't express herself, she'll tell me in Spanish. And I think it creates a trust because she knows she's getting her point across.
Right. So Lisa, tell us, if anybody wants to volunteer with CASA or maybe even make a financial donation, how can they find out more information?
They can go to our website at www.casafairfax.org, and you can find out all information about our training sessions and all about our program and anything you need to know. And thank you so much for having us today.
Well, thank you for joining us. And thank you for joining us on Cox Local Edition on CNN Headline News.